Good coffee.
Next.com.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Are you or your loved ones facing a serious legal battle? The law office of Paul Harris wants you to know you aren't alone. Do you need someone that's not afraid to go to trial and fight for your rights? Attorney Paul Harris and his team are willing to go where most firms are not. The courtroom. With a successful track record in civil litigation, criminal defense, including tax issues and healthcare fraud, Harris Law Office will fight for their clients by offering the most aggressive representation in and out of court. Call Paul Harris at Harris Law Office for a free consultation. 304-232-5300.
Live and local conversation for the Ohio Valley continues shortly, here on the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection. Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection.
Kamala Harris, African-American, Asian, woman, Vice President of the United States of America, born in Oakland, California, graduated from Howard University and the University of California, District Attorney for San Francisco, became the Attorney General and also the Senator from California. That ought to tell girls, women, people that impossible dreams do come true. That's not just Black history, that's American history.
Managing your business can be a minefield. One step in the wrong direction, and it can feel like everything you've worked for is at risk. I always had a vision of building a team, a crew of true professionals that could handle it all, tax, insurance, and investments. Big enough to partner with Encova, but personal enough to protect your interests on the home front. I'm Gary, and this is the Glessner Group.
The Storm Tracker 7 team is here to warn you when winter weather will affect your day.
And as we go through the overnight after our coating of snow, we'll wake up tomorrow morning with a few snow flurries.
We are also here to help you make the most of the season. Is it a good day to build a snowman? Should you take the kids sledding? Check out our app before you head out the door.
We're going to bottom out to temperatures in the upper 20s.
With meteorologists Dr. Dave Walker, Zach Petty, and me, Aaron Myler, we've got weather coverage you can count on. 7 News, working for you.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the watchdog trusts.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Does your dog need groomed or walked? Are you looking for a pet sitter or dog boarding options? If so, call Dirty Paws, Wheeling's newest pet care service, providing the Ohio Valley with everyone's pet care needs. Check us out on Facebook at Dirty Paws WHG or call 304-639-7754.
In a hurry and need to see a doctor? The Woodsdale Health Center and Walk-In Clinic is located across from Little Caesars on National Road. Open 7 to 7 Monday through Friday. Patients can receive primary care, treatment of minor illnesses and injuries, wellness visits and physicals. There's also a lab draw station open from 8 to noon weekdays. A division of Wheeling Hospital, the Woodsdale Health Center is led by family physician Dr. Michael Wilson. Call 304-234-1971. They'll take good care of you.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster, with a look at your local weather forecast for your Wednesday. Mostly cloudy skies with a few peaks of sunshine. A daytime high near 28 degrees. Overnight low of 23 with some light snow showers beginning. You'll see those snow showers on and off for your Thursday with highs in the mid to upper 20s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
Good morning, old friends.
Hey, what are you doing here? About to go on the air.
Uh-oh, guess what day it is?
Wake up, fairy princesses, wake up!
Guess what day it is?
Get up before I get you up!
Guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Hump day.
Woo-hoo!
This is Wednesday. She calls it over the hump day.
Wednesday.
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 We ain't one at a time in here. They broadcast me out on the radio. We're mass communicating.
Let Wednesday begin.
Hit it!
Something to think about, something to laugh about, and something to talk about every day. This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe. Brought to you in part by Wheeling Hospital.
Well, it seems that which we are talking about every day is the same thing every day this week. Top of the hit parade again today. Cold weather. Cold night last night. Cold morning this morning, too. A quiet weather day is in the forecast, though. That's the good news. But another storm coming through tonight and into tomorrow morning, that's the bad news. So weather does remain our topic number one. TV7 Zach Petty coming up in a bit to walk us through the timeline of that. Plus, we'll have some fun winter weather stories around the country I've gathered. I thought we'd take a look at some of the silly side of this snowy weather across the country to maybe put a smile on our face, although I'll also share with you some numbers and facts that are not at all fun about the winter weather. So, again, weather top of the hit parade today. Elsewhere in Charleston, the fast-moving legislative session continues. The charter school bill, expanding charter schools, passed the House. Making teacher strikes officially illegal, passed the Senate Education Committee. And we'll talk about all of this education business with Dale Lee from the WVEA coming up a little bit later on this morning. A controversial bill that I alerted you to yesterday, thanks to Senator Ehlenfeld, and he alerted a lot of other folks about it as well. involving social welfare agencies and potential discrimination. That bill was pulled from consideration, pulled out, SB 13, pulled out of consideration after public awareness created backlash. Every once in a while, even in this very unusual session where the public is basically blocked out of even being able to see what's going on, and certainly not to have any involvement in it. Every once in a while, the public has something to say that people listen to in Charleston. So we'll talk about that. Some GOP senators across this country who voted for conviction in the Trump impeachment trial are facing some really unusual responses from family and friends. And I want to share some of that with you coming up a little bit later on. West Liberty University is gearing up for their annual design competition, the Mad Fest. Dr. Matt Harder will drop in to preview that for us. And a national report released yesterday tells us that which we already know here in the Upper Ohio Valley. Area roads are in bad shape. We'll put some numbers to it from the trip report coming up this morning. Weather-wise, as I said, basically quiet morning, but a cold morning, and it will stay that way throughout the day. Maybe treat yourself to a cup of hot coffee or cocoa or something to stay nice and warm if you would like to. But don't relax too much, because we are on the verge of yet another winter system that could bring some significant snow to us tomorrow. Zach, as I mentioned, in to talk about that. How cold is it? Well, not yesterday. When I woke up this morning, when I woke up and checked the temperature right away, it was 8 degrees at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. 8, with some wind blowing around, putting it at 2. Feels like temperature was 2. Now, good news is in the past hour, we've picked up a little bit. So the 8 has turned into a 10. So it's now 10 degrees at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. And there's no wind outside right now. So the 10 degrees feels like 10 degrees. So at least we've made it to a double-digit feels like, which it wasn't earlier. So that's the good news. Biff, you have any trouble, any problems getting in this morning, scraping, what have you?
Look like we got, I guess, some overnight flurries, but just a quick wipe of the windshield wipers took care of that, and a little run across the back window with the ice scraper took care of the back windows, and after that it was smooth sailing in this morning.
Well, that sounds good. So, and again, I think today's just going to be a pretty quiet day weather-wise. Cold. It's going to be cold. Bundle up. Be for sure that you bundle up. But it's not going to be too bad today. Like tomorrow's what we got to worry about again. The hits just keep on coming, as they say. 7:15, quarter after the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. We got some cold stories I wanted to share with you here. Let's introduce it with a little cold montage.
Much of the country is dealing with dangerously freezing cold weather.
Some places in the Midwest and East Coast are seeing temperatures drop into the negative double digits.
It's so cold.
Yes, it is winter. Yes, it's supposed to be cold, but not this cold.
As cold as ice to me.
Temperatures in much of the U.S. are 20 to 30 degrees below normal.
I have no feeling in my fingers or penis, but I think it was worth it.
Some parts of the country are dealing with weather that will freeze your skin and cause frostbite in just 10 minutes of exposure.
The cold has now spread to my special place.
As cold as ice to me.
Tonight in Buffalo, the wind chill is forecast to be 20 below zero. In Fargo, North Dakota, it could get as cold as minus 40.
Why don't you go on outside and make snow angels?
I love some of these statistics. Like in certain parts of this country yesterday, it was colder than it was on the face of Mars. 10 with all of the how cold it was all across the country in some parts of the country. Biff, 10 degrees doesn't seem too bad. What's that say? 40 below in one place? Holy crap!
Yeah, we'll When you put it that way, we'll take 10.
Yeah, 10 isn't too bad. There's some serious side to it. At least 20, and I think the number as of this morning has gone to 26 now. But at least 20 people, more likely, I think it's 26, dead as a result of the winter storm. Millions and millions of Americans are without power all across the country. Texas is the most hard hit, I think. The southern parts of our country, parts that rarely get this kind of weather, just don't know how to deal with it. Their infrastructure is really ill-equipped to handle it. Texas is getting an awful lot of attention. You hear a lot of talk about it, for example, the ABC newscast. I'm sure you did earlier at the top of the hour, because Texas is basically shut down. And there's some politics being played here. People are blaming the folks they want to blame. I got some of these yesterday, for example. It's because Texas has wind turbines, and, wind turbines will freeze, and that's the whole problem. It's all you libtards who want alternative energy. No, Texas does indeed have about 23% of their energy comes from wind. That is factually correct, which means that the other 77% come from traditional sources, coal and gas and so on, and oil. So, well, yes, it is true that in Texas, some of the wind turbines froze. So did all of the traditional energy sources as well. It has nothing to do with the fact that the wind. What it has to do with is that Texas, on the alternative energy thing, Texas never winterized their wind turbines. It's Texas. They're not expecting this kind of weather. Now, there are plenty of other states that have wind turbines that are going just fine right now because they winterize them. And I'm not criticizing Texas. I'm not complaining. I'm not pointing fingers. They weren't prepared for this. The same thing is true with, in general, all of the problems in Texas. They don't have snow plows. I mean, they have some, but they don't have snow plows. You go to Minnesota. They're already, the minute the snow and the cold comes, they all know what to do. Texas, I don't know what to do. But you're already seeing a lot of finger pointing. It's their fault. It's his fault. It's their fault. The governor is blaming the energy company that they have. They're not the private companies, but ERCOT, it's called, which is their energy consortium in Texas. Governor is blaming that. Other people are blaming the governor. You know what's the problem? They're a warm weather state and they got cold weather. That's the problem.
Well, remember,
actually, if you want to blame something, blame climate change. Go ahead, Biffy.
No, I was going to say, if you remember a couple years ago when Bill and a couple of our former colleagues went to the Super Bowl that was in Dallas the year the Steelers made it, and they got snow down there, and it was like the first time they had seen snow, and they didn't know what to do.
What is this? What is this white stuff coming down, accumulating on our grounds?
And remember, it got so bad that the taxi companies, all of a sudden, they were going on strike because of the snow and everything. So, I mean, it's like you thought they would have learned from that experience, and the next time it happened, maybe they would have been a little better prepared.
Well, that's true, but again, it's now again, I don't want to get too political here, but I mean, we are seeing climate change happen, and our weather patterns are changing because of global climate change. Please don't send me Texas stuff. I don't want to get into that, but that's a reality. So things are changing, but I can't blame Texas really, Biffy. It's just, you can't prepare for every eventuality, right? And weather like this is just so far off their radar screen, they aren't prepared for it. And every community has a different level of preparation for different kinds of problems. And let's talk about cold weather. As I said, go to Minnesota. And, their plows are ready, their stockpiles of salt and cinders are ready. Everybody knows how to dress, because Minnesota's cold. And it happens every year, and they get snow, and they get ice, and they get cold temperatures, and they are prepared to deal with it. Texas, not so much. I remember being in D.C. for, I think it was W. Bush's inauguration. And it was a cold and snowy day. But I had some time to kill, and my producer at the time and I said, well, heck, let's do a little tour of the city. And we weren't going to go out and get on one of those big buses or something. We thought what we'd do is we'd get a taxi cab. Just tell the cabbie, hey, we'll pay you all day long. Take us around some of the sites. And the cab guy came, pick us up, and said, yeah, he goes, no, it's snowing. I can't drive you around in the snow. It's like, what? You can't drive us around? You can't drive us around. You're a taxi cab. Oh, no, we're not prepared for this. So every community has its own level of preparedness based on what's normal. For Texas, this isn't normal. I truly don't blame the governor. I don't blame the energy companies. I don't blame anybody. It is what it is. Oh, I hate that phrase. It is what it is.
But
there have been a number of deaths. I mentioned at least 20, 26, I think is the number I just saw flash across my screen a bit ago. Among those killed, and I want to bring these up because these are things for everyone to keep in mind. Among those killed were 4 people in one family who died in a house fire near Houston while they were using a fireplace to stay warm. Okay, you're going to have to try and figure out ways to stay warm, but for God's sake, figure out how you're going to do it safely. Those folks were using a fireplace, house got on fire. 2 people killed by carbon monoxide poisoning. They thought the best way to stay warm, because there was no heat in their house, they got into their car, in their garage, killed by carbon monoxide. Several car crashes killed people. 3 people killed in a tornado as a result of all this weather. So there has been some tough times out there, Biffy. But some of those are object lessons to all of us. You know, if you are, some of you maybe, I don't know if we have power outages today or not, but we did yesterday. I know a couple thousand yesterday. You know, if you're in cold weather like we're having and there's no heat, you got to figure out ways to get heat. I think the Big 7 had a story yesterday with some fire department and, talking about, well, how do you stay warm if you don't have power? And the guy said, well, use your wood burner. Well, the first thing I thought was, I don't have a wood burner, so that kind of takes care of that. What if I don't have a wood burner? How am I going to stay warm? But the other thing is, if you're going to use a wood burner, for example, or a fireplace that's a working fireplace, you got to be very careful.
And I think I think the other thing too they mentioned was about using generators.
Yeah.
People I guess are putting generators inside.
Yeah.
The house instead of being outside.
It's just amazing. You got to be stay warm. If your power is out, figure out how to stay warm. We have in our family several pieces of property, including some vacant houses we use them occasionally for guests and stuff. So normally, if one person loses power in my family, they say, well, we go to somebody else's house, we'll go down to the Dimmydale house or what have you. I got thinking about this yesterday. In the event we lose, probably everybody loses power. So nobody's got it. But oh, geez, and don't go into the garage and sit in your car. I get the idea that sitting in your car is a warmer, at least you can, if you have a full tank of gas, you can keep the heat coming into your car. I get it. But boy, don't go into the garage with that. And what did I say, 4 people killed that way? Jeez. How about some more fun stuff, okay? On the cold front, Biffy, so we don't be so darn serious?
Yeah.
Got a couple of fun things here. 7:26 in the morning. It is the Watchdog Morning Show. Biff is behind the board. I'm Howard Monroe. Glad you're here. 10 degrees at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. 10 degrees at my home studio and at the Robinson Auto Group Studios downtown Wheeling in the heart of the Ohio Valley. How cold is it? Let's see. It is so cold that half the people in the country are under a winter storm watch warning or advice. 154 million people. Wow. How cold is it? It's so cold that pucks kept shattering during a charity hockey game in Alberta, Canada. Temperatures there were as low as 40 degrees below zero. The pucks were literally shattering like ice cubes.
And I know over at the arena for the Nailers games, they keep those pucks at 14 degrees. I mean, that's how cold they are. So I could imagine trying to hit a 14 degree puck in 40 below temperatures.
Yep. How cold is it? It is so cold that in Kansas, the highway patrol cracked an egg and the yolk froze as it was dropping out into a solid stick.
As a popsicle.
It was an eggsicle, exactly. It was so cold that they couldn't even. They broke the egg and it didn't. The yolk just froze without even hitting the ground. Saturday, a guy in Ukraine. So it's not around here, at least. It's in the Ukraine. A guy in Ukraine was so angry that his road had not been cleared. A lot of you can appreciate that. Why don't they clear my road? This guy was so upset his road hadn't been cleared, he decided to confess to a fake murder so they would clear the roads to come get him. Jeez. He called the cops, said he stabbed his mom's boyfriend in the chest, wanted to turn himself in, but he said, you'll have to bring a snowplow. There's no way to get in or out. So they plowed in to get him. And then he said, there's no murder here. No murder here. It doesn't sound like he's going to do any jail time, but he could get hit with a big fine in the Ukraine. Filing a false report, $5. That's a pretty cheap way to get your get your road plowed for $5. Just confess to a murder. And listen, if because of the cold, you're going to try to fake an excuse to take a day off work, think the whole thing through. 20-year-old woman named Roberta Clark works as an electrician. She was at a baby gender reveal party, but she texted her boss that she couldn't make it into work. Now, actually, it's because she was a little, shall we say, under the weather. But she told her boss that I can't make it in because of the snow. Then, a few seconds later, she meant to text her friend a picture of the huge bottle of champagne she had just opened for her party. But as so often happens, she's texted it to the wrong person.
Oops.
To her boss.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Boss, can't come in, too much snow. The roads are down. There's no possible way I could possibly make it. That's all right, Betty Sue. No, Roberta's name. That's okay, Roberta. We get it. We want you to be safe. Don't travel the roads. That's fine. It's all snow problems. You stay home. Next text. Having a good time, opening my champagne, getting ready for the big party. Yeah. She apologized. Her boss said, yeah, why don't you come on in tomorrow? We'll talk about it. I'm thinking it could be her last day there. I'm not totally sure. Anyway, there are some serious and some silly stories about the cold weather that I thought I'd share with you this morning here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Going to be a quiet day weather-wise, except it's going to be very cold. More winter weather problems coming in either late tonight or early tomorrow morning. There are going to be some significant snow coming down. At least that seems to be the prediction. Zach Petty in a minute or two to talk about that. So that's straight ahead. It's 10 degrees at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. Not any wind out there right now, so 10 degrees feels like 10 degrees. And it's 10 degrees at the airport, 10 degrees here at my home studio in the Elm Grove section of Wheeling, and it's 10 degrees at the Robinson Auto Group Studios downtown Wheeling in the heart of the Ohio Valley. Mr. Petty up in a minute or two. Before that, let's check in with the other folks of the Big Seven for some Ohio Valley headlines. And Bill DeFabio has the morning sports report on the Wednesday edition of the Watchdog Morning Show.
The WTRF Channel 7 News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
Now,
If when we come back, if you want to just use the rejoin voicer and then go to that next cold montage, and I'll go straight to Zach after that. Thank you. And I think I told you, Dale Lee at 8:10, we always call him, so. Madfest at 8:40, yeah, they're supposed to call us. I did hear, I don't know what happened with that child homeless thing yesterday. I did hear from the woman. She sent me a text saying, oh, I hope everything's going fine. Can I come on your show one day this week? And I'm thinking, you were supposed to be on today, but I didn't say that. I just said, sure. I gave her an option of today or tomorrow. She didn't pick today, so maybe tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. If this was not the short day, I would have gotten those people from Trip on to talk about how bad the area roads were, but we know it anyways, and today's the short day, so. Right. Now, I always like to do it timely. I mean, they released it yesterday, there, but if I don't get them on tomorrow, I'll probably just move on from that. I'm starting to wonder how long the legislature is going to be in session. At the rate they're going, they'll be done in a week or two.
College basketball, travel day for the Ohio State Buckeyes, ranked 4th in the nation. Thursday, they will visit the Penn State Nittany Lions. Celebrating a birthday today, a pretty good linebacker when he played for the Pittsburgh Steelers, LaVon Kirkland. He is 52. And celebrating a birthday today, former Cleveland Brown great, in my opinion, one of the best ever to run with the football in the NFL, Jimmy Brown. JB is 85. Be safe out there. Be considerate of others. Please check on the elderly. I'm Bill DeFabio on sports, and we are, and always will be, the Ohio Valley's watchdog.
From the Watchdog Network, right now, traffic. Here's the latest from the Robinson Auto Group Traffic Center.
There are no traffic delays near the Highlands, on Washington Avenue, and on the Fort Henry Bridge. Traffic near the Ohio Valley Mall, on 70 and 470, and on State Route 7 looks good. The lane width reductions on the eastbound entrance ramp and westbound exit ramp to Wheeling Island will continue. The closure of I-70 from US 250 and West Virginia 2 South, the 16th Street exit to the Ogilvy Park exit for Phase 2 of the Fulton Bridge replacement project will continue. The closure of the US 250 North on-ramp to I-70 East as part of Phase 2 will continue. The Market Street overpass with reduction will continue. I-70 construction will continue westbound where crossovers are in effect. And all existing detours and closures will continue for the I-70 Bridges project. Follow Ohio Valley Traffic Report on Facebook, WTRF7 News, and the Watchdog for updates.
I'm Josh from Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. I hope you are staying healthy. We continue to respond to structural, fire, and water emergencies. We are combating COVID-19 with our highly trained staff and latest disinfection systems, providing preventative and reactive disinfection to facilities around the region, while working with area hospitals on isolation areas and air filtering. At Panhandle, we continue to follow social distancing and hygiene protocols. We are dedicated to our community, and together, we will get through this.
My little girl hurt her foot and needed a doctor, fast, but her physician wasn't available, and I wanted her seen as soon as possible. Then I remembered the Wheeling Hospital Urgent Care, right in downtown Wheeling, at the Stone Center on Market Plaza. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day, the center is ideal if you have a sudden sickness or injury. The doctors and nurses were great, and they also provided x-rays, a pharmacy, and lab draw station. No appointments needed, and convenient parking is nearby. Wheeling Hospital Urgent Care. They'll take good care of you.
Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection. Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection.
Are you or your loved ones facing a serious legal battle? The law office of Paul Harris wants you to know you aren't alone. Do you need someone that's not afraid to go to trial and fight for your rights? Attorney Paul Harris and his team are willing to go where most firms are not. The courtroom. With a successful track record in civil litigation, criminal defense, including tax issues and healthcare fraud, Harris Law Office will fight for their clients by offering the most aggressive representation in and out of court. Call Paul Harris at Harris Law Office for a free consultation. 304-232-5300.
CA House Music has all the gear to make your music legendary. With all the best gear including Fender, Epiphone, Yamaha, and more, CA House will have you rocking in no time. Get the most for your money with everyday low prices. And we meet or beat internet pricing. Play before you buy and let our product specialists help you pick out the instrument that's right for you. CA House Music, supporting local musicians since 1872. Play music for life.
The weather will affect you every day, whether it's good or bad. The Storm Tracker 7 weather team is here to make sure you're never surprised. You can trust us to help you plan your day.
36 degrees here in Wheeling.
On TV, online, on your phone, our experienced meteorologists are here to help you prepare for what's ahead. Watch the Storm Tracker 7 weather team with Zach Petty, Aaron Myler, and me, Dr. Dave Walker. Weather coverage you can count on, working for you.
The perfect cure for your quarantine blues. The Watchdog on Facebook Live. Watch The Watchdog weekdays on Facebook Live beginning with the morning show with Howard Monroe at 7 a.m. Local talk radio, Watchdog style. Give us a call and tell us what you're thinking. Locally, 304-214-1600. Out of the area, toll free, 866-514-1600 or 304-232-8255.
Miss a part of the show? Want to hear a segment again? Check out our podcast page at watchdognetwork.com. The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
Bone-chilling temperatures and frigid winds blowing across the U.S.
It feels colder in Chicago with a wind chill of -10 than on the surface of Mars.
Are we going to be warm? The negative double-digit temperatures felt across much of the Midwest and Northeast are breaking century-old records.
As long as I'm rocking with you, girl, you know I'm cool with just you.
60 degrees below zero.
The winter.
Every state, except Hawaii, had at least one area reporting a below freezing temperature this morning.
The cold has now spread to my special place. Booyah!
It is colder today in Dallas, Texas than it is in Anchorage, Alaska.
America's ice age had begun.
It's so cold.
And that seems to be the weather word of the day today. Maybe two weather words today, Zach Petty. Cold but quiet today. Is that a fair assessment?
That is a very good assessment. I had bitter cold AM and round 2 for your weekday weather words for your Wednesday.
It started out, when I woke up this morning, it was 8 degrees at the airport with a feels like of 2. I kept thinking, oh man, when are we going to hit the zero or go below? But temperature actually went up. The last I checked, it's 10 degrees with a feels like of 10. Not much wind at the moment, so
right.
We're beginning to at least go up. But 10 degrees is still darn cold, and we're not going to get much warmer than what, mid-20s today, I guess.
Mid-20s is about where we're going to be topping off at today, and yikes, cold. I don't even know what else to say. It's just cold outside.
Like the little guy said on the little drop there, I'm freezing in my special places. Stay warm the best you can. Although be careful about it. We were doing a segment a minute or two ago, Zach, about there've been 26 deaths, I think, as a result of the weather over the last couple of days, and some of them so tragic. 4 people died in a house fire that got started because they were using a wood burner and not paying attention to it. And even worse, 2 people died because they got into their car to get warm, which I understand that. But they did it in their garage and died of carbon monoxide poisoning. So, geez, you got to be. We all want to stay warm, but please do it safely. Figure out the safe way to do that kind of stuff.
Right. Not what you want to hear.
Nope. But we have a cold day today. But compared to where we've been, the day should be pretty quiet, right? Not a lot of snow to worry about during the day. Not a lot of ice or freezing rain today. Am I correct? I'm correct about that. It doesn't come in until round whatever the number is. I heard you and one of your compatriots at the 7 arguing about this morning. Is it round 2? Is it round 3? I don't know what number it is, but another round comes in tonight, overnight, and into tomorrow morning, right?
Yeah, most of the daylight hours today, all clear, calm weather, just cold. So brace yourselves as you head out the door, stay bundled up. But it looks like models are starting to indicate right around that 11 o'clock, so late in the evening tonight, early tomorrow morning is when round number whatever, for you, Howard, it's probably round too many. I have one too many rounds of this type of snow activity is going to start to swing through. I do expect widespread activity in terms of snowfall, 3, 4 o'clock. So it looks like the morning commutes will be impacted. I do expect to see snow-covered roads and probably some slick spots. So you're probably going to want to give yourself added time to clear the car off, as well as just to travel into work, whether you're on a highway, back road, or a city street, because they're probably going to be a bit slick compared to normal travel. So something to keep in mind as you get ready for tomorrow morning's traveling endeavors.
And we are looking for a cumulative snow, at least a couple of inches, right?
Correct. Yeah, as of now, models are indicating 1 to 3 inches, with 4 inches being the high end from some of the higher resolution models from what the National Weather Service has put out, as well as me kind of going through some of the models early on this morning. I'll be able to have the most up-to-date stuff at 7 News at noon, but as of now, it looks like we're going to be in that 1 to 3 inch range. And again, this is going to linger on, off and on tomorrow, and it should be wrapping up early Friday morning. I do want to stress this is going to be a very long duration in terms of snow, but it's going to be very light snow. I don't expect to see any heavier bands in our region as of now. Most of the heavy and highest snow totals are going to be over into the typical places in the Preston County, Tucker County, heading over into Garrett County, Maryland, in the bridges, and up in the higher hilltops over in the eastern West Virginia, extending on into central Pennsylvania.
But depending on temperatures and so on, some of that snow could end up being a wintry mix at some point tomorrow, right?
Yes, it looks like that. Most of the morning should stay mostly snow. I do expect temperatures to be cold enough in the entire column of air ahead to be overhead to be cold enough for snow activity. But as we head into the, let's say, dinner time hours tomorrow, there is the chance that that stubborn warm wedge makes its way into West Virginia once again, making every meteorologist from downstate in through the northern panhandle have one of those meteorological migraines, is what we call it, saying, oh no, the stubborn warm wedge is going to be the bane of my existence. I have nightmares over this, just because it messes everything up, messes snow totals. The wintry mix just changes completely everything. And the chance of seeing some freezing rain, sleet, if not heavy snow possible The best chance for that, again, is in the evening hours and right around dinner time into the evening hours tomorrow.
Now, come Friday, there might be some lingering snow in the morning, but hopefully by Friday, certainly after the morning hours, things will probably begin to clear up as far as the snow and wintry mix and so on. It looks like it's going to be cold. I don't see anything that tells me it's not going to be cold for the next several days, but the weekend might not be too bad other than just cold. Is that right? And maybe even a little bit warmer for the weekend, too.
Yeah, it looks like we could filter in a mixture of sun and clouds. I'm expecting to see partly cloudy skies with, again, some peaks of sun. Temperatures on Saturday, mid-20s, so somewhat similar for our high today. But then as we head into Thursday, we're going to inch our way closer to that seasonable level because normal high temperatures for this time of year is 40 degrees. And we haven't been there for about 2 weeks thanks to this Arctic air, the Arctic cold outbreak or the Arctic invasion, however you want to word it. It's just been downright cold. But we will inch our way closer to seasonable levels Monday into Tuesday. But Howard, I do have, again, bad news for you. Looks like Monday we have models starting to align that another.
No, don't tell me that. No.
But it could
More
be
trouble
less
coming?
snow and mostly rain. But it's going to be a cold rain because temperatures will be in the upper 30s.
Okay, this will be the beginning of next start of the week?
Yeah, as of now, it looks like Monday we could see morning snow and then late morning, if not afternoon, rain and mostly rain the rest of the day. But again, we're talking about 6 days into the future. This is just what models are starting to align with. But wanted to give you that heads up that we could see a little bit more white precipitation.
So let me walk it through. Tell me if I've got it right. Today, cold but fairly quiet weather. Tonight into tomorrow, we'll start to see some snow, a cumulative snow, maybe wintry mix mixed in. That'll stay with us for a good bit of the day tomorrow. Weekend might be cold but acceptable, not a lot of snow to worry about. And then come the beginning of next week, maybe another winter weather maker coming along. So those are the silos we have to look at for the next several days, I guess.
Yep, that is correct.
Well, if nothing else, you're getting it's your first winter here in the Ohio Valley. You're certainly getting a good workout on the Big Seven.
We are definitely getting put through the ringer with winter weather and trying to figure out what Mother Nature wants to have everyone seeing. It's always like, southern West Virginia down into Beckley, Charleston, you're going to have ice. Northern Panhandle, you're going to see a little bit of everything. Over into eastern West Virginia, you're just going to get dumped on with snow. She's just all over the place right now.
You guys have interviewed some man-on-the-street folks the last couple of days on the news, and at least the individual people seem to be thinking that, and I do too, that this is one of the most intense winters we've had in quite a few years. Are there statistics to back that up? Are we getting more snow than we have traditionally and so on? Have you done any comparisons?
Sure, yeah. So it looks like the most significant snow, other than what we're seeing this year, is dating back to 2010, where there was that big weather maker during the Friday, Saturday, extending into Sunday of the Super Bowl. I don't know if you remember that one back in 2010. It was like February 5th, 6th, or 4, 5, and 6. I don't remember the dates off the top of my head. But other than that, yeah, we have seen a lot more snow than normal. I actually have reached out to the West Virginia state climatologist, and I'm actually going back and forth with an email chain with him, and I'm hoping that I can get an interview with him just to ask him some of these questions, because one of the constraints that we have here in our area is that the Wheeling Airport doesn't report snow totals, whereas the Pittsburgh Airport up into Youngstown, as well as the more major airports, they do snow totals, where it's kind of hard to gauge snow totals unless I start keeping a running record, which I have I have a running total of how much snow I've measured outside the studio, which I have right around 38.5 inches of total snow that I've seen or I've measured outside the studio. But to go back record-wise, it's kind of hard. But the only one that Dr. Dave has highlighted on his record keeping, the one that we always mess with. He's in the dim lighted room with the heavy chair with the books lining everywhere. He's got records of 2010 being a very high snowfall.
Well, you will remember your first year in Wheeling as a pretty intense winter weather. You may, if you're, years hence, you may be telling people about, I remember the first year I was a weatherman, for official weatherman, and it was a tough year in Wheeling, West Virginia. So you're
all across the country too with that cold Arctic air.
Yeah, it's a mess out there. It really is. All right, Zach, I guess appreciate it. I appreciate knowing. I appreciate the knowledge. I appreciate the information. I don't appreciate how it's working out, but it's important. It's important that we know it. So, but today won't be too bad. Just stay warm today. Bundle up. Have a cup of cocoa or coffee, blankets. Just enjoy yourself in the cold today. But it should be a quiet day, so it shouldn't be too bad out there. All right, sir. Appreciate your time. We'll do it again tomorrow, and maybe every motto will completely change, and you'll say, "Oh my heavens, spring is coming." It's always possible.
That would be a big time forecast, Bus. I would understand. A lot of people would be okay with us being wrong about that, but I don't know if I could overlook seeing that big of a change in the weather.
Well, we can only hope. All right, Zach, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks a lot, my friend.
Yep, we'll see you guys.
Day. 7 before the hour on the Watchdog Morning Show. Zach Petty from the Big 7, WTRF TV. Check him every morning on TV and with us every morning here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Hey, Biff, we talk about the light at the end of the tunnel, and vaccines are picking up, and COVID numbers are going down, hospitalizations are going down, all that kind of stuff, and that's all good. And we have some light at the end of the tunnel. Our basketball schedule is shaping up. We may actually start getting West Virginia basketball games on the radio in just a couple of weeks.
Yeah, they finally started practice on Monday. If teams wanted to, they could do that. So, yeah, we've got a couple weeks here left in February, and the girls start March 3rd, and the boys can start March 5th. So, as long as numbers keep going down and everything, and the map stays like it is, we're gonna get some basketball in, and I know a lot of people are looking forward to it.
It looks like Jerry's put together a good schedule. A lot of Central, JM, some Lindsley games. Weirton is in the action a good bit. Wheeling Park a couple of times. Oak Glen I see there. Our first game, as it's scheduled right now, will be on the 9th of March with Weirton at Wheeling Central on WKKX. And that same night, JM will take on Park, and that'll be on WVOY. So it's coming. We gave you some Ohio games when we could, and that's good. Now it's time to gear up for West Virginia, and that's pretty good too. So the schedule is prepared, and we'll let you all know what all the scheduled games are. And we have to hope they all stay. We saw what happened during football, Biffy, but
yeah, and actually in Ohio, the girls, they start playoffs. I think today is their sectional play, and then next week the boys start in Ohio, and I think we're actually trying to get one of the Ohio games for next week on, I believe, next Tuesday, the 23rd. I think we're in the process of trying to get one of those games on. So we may have one more Ohio game on next week, and then after that we'll see what happens with West Virginia. But if you looked yesterday on the map, hopefully we see that map stay like that, or everybody keeps going down. So we'll have to play it by ear.
Light at the end of the tunnel. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Tomorrow, if all goes well, I'll get my second COVID vaccine shot. Weather may get in the way of that. I'm not sure yet, but sometime soon should get that second shot. And I'm telling you, I'm already starting to think about going out and eating someplace. Not tomorrow. I mean, you got to wait for a few weeks, and you got to stay masked up, and you got to be very cautious still. But I feel like I'm getting closer and closer to lunch, Biff. So I just feel like there's a light at the end of the tunnel. 4 before the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Let's get a couple of D.C. stories in here in our morning D.C. Digest.
Where is it? Hang on. Where'd it go?
Gone away.
Here's some of the news from the nation's capital you'll be talking about today. This is the DC Digest on the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
We have talked this week about some of those members of the Senate, that the Republican members of the Senate who voted to convict Donald Trump. And some of their parties have gone to censure them. How dare you vote against Trump, and so on. But a couple of unusual things. One of them, and we talked about this and we had the words, but I want you to actually hear the words here. Earlier this week, Tom Squitieri pointed out that Pat Toomey from Pennsylvania voted to convict, and some of his own party criticized him. But I love what one of the party chairmen had to say. And we read this to you, but I want you to hear it in this guy's own words. This is what one of the party chairmen had to say about Pat Toomey, and Pat Toomey saying, "I felt like I had to do the right thing."
No longer represents them. We did not send him there to vote his conscience. We did not send him there to do the right thing or whatever he said he no longer.
Now, I want you to think. I want you to think about that, and we're going to play that again in a second. But we did not send him there to vote his conscience. We did not send him there to do the right thing. Okay, so you sent him there to do the wrong thing? I guess the implication is that the constituents sent him there to be a Trump suck-up. That's what we sent him for. Again, listen to this again.
No longer represents them. We did not send him there to vote his conscience. We did not send him there to do the right thing or whatever he said he.
Stop. I mean, it's just absolutely staggering. We did not send him there to vote his conscience. We did not send him there to do the right thing. That's what anybody who's elected wants to say. Oh, we didn't send you there to do the right thing. We sent you there to suck up. Meanwhile, Adam Kinzinger, another one of the senators that voted to convict Trump, has been disavowed by his own family. His own family! His family sent him a letter. Oh my, what a disappointment you are to us and to God. How could you say such horrible, rude things about President Trump? It's now embarrassing to us that we are related to you. This guy's own family put Trump over this guy. Holy mackerel. 8 o'clock, Watchdog Morning Show.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
For outages that have stretched on for days.
All right, Biffy, we'll get Dale Lee on after the break. I think I may do a couple of these Biden clips before Dale, though. Coming out of Pulse. I don't know if you found them or not. I found the ones I'm looking at in the questions. Biden talks vaccines and COVID aid. And there are a couple of quotes there. Yeah. So I may squeeze those in. I want to do a couple other Trump stories I didn't get to in that last segment. Then we will go to Dale after that. If that works for you. All right, I'm going to go. Coffee was really good this morning. I'm going to get some more coffee. I'll be right back. Could have some more coffee.